Morning, everybody. It is Friday, the 25th of July. I'm doing this post-workout. I came to the gym really early this morning, and not only was it too dark to film, at that time in the morning where I live, you got to really pay attention to the roads. There's a lot of deer and other critters that tend to come out at that time of the day looking for food, and they just jump up onto the road and shoot across. So it's I don't want to be distracted in any way, but so I'm doing this following my workout on the way back home. But what I want to talk today about is temptation. It's something, it's tough, especially when I've set a bunch of very stringent guidelines for this plan I'm on right now. So as I mentioned before, I'm on a severely caloric deficit diet, and I'm obviously still significantly upping the protein, but choosing very low calorie, or as low calorie as possible, high protein sources like tuna, chicken breasts, cans of sardines, and so it's strict. It's very strict, and there's not a lot of room for incorporating fun food in there. So it's that's the plan I'm on right now. But I went to a wedding this on Wednesday, and me and lovely Lisa, we stayed at the Hard Rock Cafe in Ottawa. Hard Rock Casino and Hotel in Ottawa. I'm going to post a short video about that later on. But we stayed there and overnight before the wedding. And so that evening, we went to the Hard Rock Cafe for something to eat. And, on the menus, they do post the calories. Excuse me. They do post the calorie value or the caloric value of each meal. And it was brutal. I mean, it's an eye-opener when you think something is relatively healthy. For example, a Cobb salad, which I love Cobb salads, but it was like 1,400 calories. But granted, most of that was from the dressing that they'll put on it. So I could have had it, dressing on the side. But another reason we didn't eat there were the prices were just absolutely just insanely outrageous. And a little sneak peek into the review. It didn't remind me of a Hard Rock Cafe at all. It reminded me more of, I don't know if anybody remembers like those, department stores like Woolworths in England, Zellers in Canada, that had like a little lunch counter with little tables. That's what it reminded me of. And the service was lacking. So anyhow, we didn't stay there. We found a little place called The Rooster, I think it was, but I'll mention that in the other video. A shawarma Lebanese kind of restaurant. You walk up to the counter, you order, but a really nice little place. And I just had mixed grilled meats and some salad, and fantastic. If you're in Ottawa, and I'll mention it, and I'll put up the address on my other video. If you're in Ottawa or you're visiting, you got to check this place out. But so it was so tempting to stay at the Hard Rock and just for convenience sake and have a burger. I could murder a burger right now. I could murder a big plate of pasta, a dairy milk chocolate bar. But then we go to the wedding, and after the actual wedding itself at the church, there was in one of the rooms upstairs, there was canapes and refreshments put out, and of course a lot of fried mozzarella cheese sticks and crackers, but there was a lot of deli meats too, but obviously everything very high calorie, a lot of things I'm not eating, you know, being carb restricting as well, or I'm restricting the carbs right now too. And then the meal itself at the reception, you know, bread comes out first, then a Caesar salad with lots of dressing, and then chicken with roast potatoes and vegetables. So it's, you know, tempted to just wolf down those potatoes, to you know, dive into the cheesecake that came around at the end of the meal. And but you know what, I managed to say I'm not doing it. I'm too committed to this right now. And I think what's really helping me with the temptation, and helping me, you know, say like at night when I'm having you know, chicken breasts, to not have two massive chicken breasts, is to keep focused on the fact that although it's healthy, it's the calories that I don't need right now. So I'm really trying as much as I can to focus on where I want to be. I'm not overly stressed on where I am checking the weight, but really what's driving me now is I had to make a decision that now is the time that I have to turn into something else physically, and again primarily for health reasons. So it's the vision of that, it's where I want to be in terms of optimal health, in terms of physical appearance, in terms of just not carrying around excess weight around my midsection. So that's my focus. And listen, if after all these years, if I can't give myself 2.5-3 months to do this, you know, it's really, in the grand scheme of things, it's just a small blip on the timeline. So that's what's doing it. That's really what's driving me and keeping me focused, stopping me, you know, becoming overly tempted to eat things I shouldn't be eating. And it's not because I think that having a little piece of dairy milk or a potato or a spoonful of pasta will you know, upset the apple cart. It's, I know myself, and if I have that little bit of pasta, if I have just that one potato, that one little bit of chocolate, it'll trigger me. You know, I do get triggered, I find, when it comes to food, and I have one little piece and then I want more and more and more. So to avoid any possibility of being triggered, people are driving really slow this morning. Holy jumping. Sorry guys, hold on. To avoid myself being triggered, I'm just saying that I'm not doing any of it. I'm avoiding it. I'm just focusing on really what the end goal is for me, what the plan is. I've got my, you know, I know how many calories are coming in, I know how many calories are going out, and where that's going to get me. So for me, it's about focusing on the end state, is keeping that vision of where I'm going to be in my mind. Not easy. It's tough, especially now, you know, 55. It's Friday night tonight, and you know, we have a big barbecue. You know, the wedding was the lovely Lisa's daughter, my stepdaughter Anissa. An absolutely beautiful wedding. She did me the honor of asking me to walk her down the aisle, which was wow. So we're having a big family get together. So Lisa's side of the family and Anissa's husband's side of the family, his parents, brother, they're coming down, and we're doing a nice after wedding barbecue get together. So and I've already seen what Lisa's making. There's pasta salads, there's potato salad, there's coleslaw, you know, with the dressing. But I'm grilling up some ham, I'm grilling up some chicken burgers, and that's where I'm going to be. You're going to see me just over by the meat section. So anyhow, but yeah, so just a little talk about temptation, acknowledging it, what I'm doing to deal with it. Anyhow guys, I've got a pretty jam-packed day today, getting ready for tomorrow, and doing some renos around the house as well. And a bunch of Zoom calls with clients, so it's going to be a fairly busy day. So I'm glad I got the workout done early, And but I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, subscribing to the channel. I'll be releasing a video on my thoughts and review of the Hard Rock Casino Hotel in Ottawa, and I should be doing another whiskey cigar pairing coming up as well. So if you enjoy those, definitely subscribe. But any comments about how you deal with temptation, what you're doing to stay focused and on track, I'd love to hear it. But until the next video, take care guys, have a great day.